Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in for a special edition of No Vacancy, Snowbound Edition. I'm not at ALIS, but my guest today sure is. But before that, I want to thank my friends over at Aptable. Aptable, they give you the power to profit. Check them out, please. All right. Bruce Ford, Delta, may have yanked the pilot off my flight, preventing me from getting there. I couldn't get any flights no matter what I tried. You're there. I'm happy that we can talk today.
I'm happy that we can too. I wanna know, how hard the Haussman Hotel puts you to work in shoveling out there in New York.
Uh, well, we got 9 inches here at the, Haussman Resort Pool Club, and Smokehouse, and I guess, snow in. And, yesterday, I did the first round of shoveling, and then the family did the rest of the day. I've gotten to the age now where, everybody's like, "You're getting a little too old to be doing the shoveling." And, typically, I'm like, "Nah," but I'm like, "Alright, forget about it. I'll just stay in and cook instead." So, I mean,
Your ba your back is happy, right?
every
Uh,
everything is happy. My belly's happy from the stew, and I didn't do much shoveling. Although this morning it's all ice and it's a lot more challenging. Bruce, we've got to get into it. We're under a time limit over here.
Mrs. Ford reports there's 16 inches in New
Ooh.
Hampshire where I live. So,
Wow.
Glenn, when you say get into it, did you mean we wanna talk about conversions and renovations?
I do. I really want to talk about. So, our theory was when we were together, we were going to record this yesterday, and we were going to say what we think is going to be talked about at Alice, and that big news story that I've been talking about for a couple of years, and you are reasserting right now is conversions are king, as the kids would be likely to say.
Financing cash flow is a lot easier today than trying to finance a new construction project.
Right.
So, as a result, many of the franchise companies have continued to expand their brand offerings to include conversion brands.
Right. We've
Now,
seen that. Let me just throw in, you had mentioned beforehand, I know these brands too, but you get credit. You mentioned Spark, for example, which is shot out of the gate and done hundreds, it seems, in just a few years.
very much so, and Spark is pulling hotels up into the mid-scale chain scales as well and pull hotels down into the mid-scale chain scale as well. So they're doing a little bit of both. Typically, in the mid-scale chain scale, we have not had, brands where the big franchise companies have been exposed before.
Right.
But now we have an IHG conversion brand down there with Garner. We have a Hilton conversion brand, in mid-scale with Spark, and we have a Marriott conversion brand with City
City Express.
Express.
Mhm.
So all 3 of those properties, if you will, have 100 projects.
Yeah.
All 3 of them, uh, are continuing to accelerate and sign new projects, and in many cases, those conversions are occurring pretty quickly, in some cases in 3 to 4 to 5 months.
Mhm. Yeah, and you know what, Bruce? That all of this makes a whole lot of sense to me. And the reason why I've been seeing all this interest in conversions is the story that we've seen is it. Yes, it has been harder to get more money for new construction, but conversions always seems to come into play when new builds wane, and that's kind of what I love about the yin yang of our industry, particularly for those vendors out there.
Well, yeah, the supply of conversion brands has grown during the pandemic. You know, we've had 110 new brands since 2018. And as a result of those 110 new brands, many of them are conversion brands. And what's great about conversion brands is it can bring you into a new franchise company that gives you new and fresh opportunity. Now, many of the owners and management companies out there are not entirely elated with the fact that
Right.
we continue to expand the brands inside of these big franchise companies because at the end of the day, you have more hotels you're competing against for those reservations.
Right. Well, that's
And
another major trend that's happening in hospitality. And we're seeing a lot of things kind of folding in on each other, right? So, what you're describing right now is the fact that these public companies need to keep growing. And the general strategy over the last decade or so has been to what they say is filling in all of that white space. And while that's great necessarily for stockholders, it also complicates the individual owner who likes having that street corner across the street empty. But, Bruce, if My franchise company isn't going to create a new brand and offer it across the street. Someone else will. So it's kind of tricky.
It is tricky, and they continue to expand the offerings and sprout with extended stay versus standard mid-scale versus upscale versus upper upscale. Um, these offerings continue to expand what the franchise company can offer you as a guest. And again, this has been a big topic that we've gone over a number of times, Glenn. The growth of brand.com is driving all of this.
It sure has. And speaking of growth, one of the reasons why we've been able to see the panoply of brands kind of go and all of these companies expand is because more Americans are traveling every single year. Can't say 2026 will be like that, but generally speaking, there's been a larger every year growing population of people that are traveling, which is translated into kind of make it a little bit even Steven for all the hotel developments that's been going on for the last 30, 40 years.
Well, the booking windows continue to compress
Yep.
as well. So, how far in advance you choose to stay at a particular hotel, one or the other, continues to compress. But what shall we see in 2026, Glenn?
Hold on. Let me look out. I can't see anything because of a blizzard, but
Glasses are foggy, Glenn.
yeah.
Okay. Let me bring the picture forward.
Yep.
What shall we see in 2026? I
Uh,
tell you right now, if you own or manage a hotel in a FIFA
yep.
World Cup city, you're feeling pretty good because you're gonna have 6 weeks
Right.
of pretty solid, growth, obviously beating last year, should be beating it to a pulp, should be doubling it, if
Right.
not tripling it, okay? Therefore, projecting a good year for your hotels. But if you're not in a World Cup city and you're
Yeah.
not in a resort destination, boy, is it a great time to think about your investment and renovating and converting and potentially remaking your portfolio.
That's a great way of saying it's not going to look good out there for 2026. And Bruce,
Glenn, it's all about positioning. I mean, I've been positioning myself with you for years. We're going on 30 now.
yeah. Hey, Bruce Ford and I are both celebrating our 30th anniversary this year in hospitality. So yay us on that one.
Yay,
But
us.
yeah, Bruce, I got to tell you though, I'm a little concerned about traffic to World Cup with all of the politics stuff that's happening right now, which we need to get into. Um, People aren't necessarily, I think, as enthusiastic about spending all that money to come here as they were a year or two ago.
So America will sell out the World Cup on its own, Glenn.
Good, that's good to hear.
Okay. So the tickets are not the problem.
Hmm.
It's the residual travel and how that will affect
Right.
the industry.
So you're saying someone comes
You
over
and
here?
I were gonna go to a game in Los Angeles. We might stay for 2 or 3 days, go to the game, fly home.
Right.
If we were coming from Brazil to
Yep.
go to Los Angeles, we might stay for 10 days.
And then do another 5 days at Disney and then go home.
Yeah. So, I mean, the spend is different.
Yeah.
The tickets are not the problem, okay?
Right.
It's the residual airline/hotel business that it's gonna be a little bit harder than it should be. It's gonna be a little bit harder than maybe we forecasted it to be, okay? But I think there's a few savvy management companies out there that are gonna figure it out, Glenn.
That's great. And I really like to hear that. And it just gets back to the old argument that I've been hearing my entire career that you just crystallized perfectly. We need to have a great reason for people to come to the United States because they spend more, they stay more, and it's 100% as what we would say an export because they're giving us money. So, yay.
Correct. And they're not as sensitive, to some of the spending limits that we might be too.
Right.
So they help
Little
the upper
migration.
end of the market
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. That's great. So, um, Bruce, we have a couple of minutes. So, you're going to come back during Alice. We'll have some more conversations, but what are you seeing on the ground right now? How do you think the event's going to go? And send my best to all the organizers. I feel absolutely horrible for these guys. And
Well, I'm glad that you decided to sign the contract that I provided to you to be Glenn Haussman's helper for the week. Um, I'm gonna need that couple $100.
yeah,
At the end of the day, I will be putting that back into the local economy.
that's
But
true.
here's the thing. Um, In hospitality today, this conference represents kind of the beginning of the year, setting off our new plan,
Yeah.
really kind of meeting with people and saying, here's what I've been saying in the boardroom for the last 6 weeks. Does this validate, as they say? Okay. And we need more people that want to do that. And certainly, if anybody wants to do that, uh, send me an email, Bruce at lodgingeconometrics.com. I am always happy to talk shop. Okay. And I feel like talking shop is exactly what we do at ALIS.
Yeah, I
Now, there
know.
will be a few less people to talk shop with. Okay. So we'll have to talk shop online, Glenn. And here's the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
It is easier to finance cash flow than it is new construction. Transactions were up 20% in 2025 versus 2024. That's good. Okay. But we're still sitting on the plateau. We have no catalyst to go forward. We have no catalyst to go down. Okay. We're just trying to figure it out day to day, today, 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 today. So, Glenn,
Yes.
we're going to miss you.
Ah.
Okay. But thank you very much for the upgrade. Because I asked for the Glenn Haussman suite when I got here and they
Yeah.
hooked me up.
Oh, that's nice. How's the view of the boiler room?
Uh, they said that if I needed private car service to G-Force One, I could get it.
Ah, that's awesome. So, all right, I'm going to be doing a couple of other remote interviews. I was supposed to do, I don't know, 10, 15 in-person interviews. I got a few folks who either are trapped or are going to do it from on location at Alice. Bruce will be back for more interviews. So we got lots of coverage coming for you for the next couple of days. Bruce, great to see you. Hang out, hang out. I don't want, be sure to watch, listen, follow, all that kind of good stuff. And remember, you got one life, so blaze on. And Bruce, say goodbye to everybody.
LodgingEconometrics.com, LinkedIn for Lodging Econometrics. Wonderful to see everybody. Happy first quarter.
See you all later. Bye.